So finally, I decided it was time to go to Nigeria, and I got to the airport in Lagos. But while I was waiting for my luggage, I kept seeing plainclothes officers saying, "Sir, can you help us talk to your people outside?"
There are lots of crowds waiting for you outside, and they have banners bearing "Show for President." What is your impression about them?
I haven't seen the crowd yet, so until I see them, I can't form an impression as well.
And it soon dawned on me that there's a huge crowd waiting outside. But yes, I knew that friends and enthusiasts wanted to organize an arrival ceremony for me, but I had no idea that it would be thousands of people. We walked out of the arrival hall, and I was confronted with this. Nigerians, young people in particular, with placards, and they just practically snatched me from the exit, because I knew at that moment that we had to do this, that Nigeria was ready for a new level of revolutionary politicking. I opted not to have a speech at the airport because I knew that the airport could easily have shut down. So we went into Lagos, followed by thousands of young people, until we got to Gani Fawemi Park in Ojota in Lagos, because Chief Gani Fawemi is actually one of my greatest heroes.
And we have all of you, young people, who are capable of governing states, local government, who are capable of becoming senators, who are capable of becoming House of Rep members, better than all these lazy, mediocre people. We must take it back and take it back now.
Everybody that can just kept asking, let's go now. Let's take it back now. We then set up a town hall meeting for Ibadan. When we got there, we just couldn't believe how many people were waiting. The hall, which was supposed to take about 700 people, had over 700 people sitting and another 300 people standing. And outside the hall, I heard there were 1,000 people waiting and had to leave in frustration when they couldn't get inside.
I think we are very clear about what we are taking back, and we are very clear about where we are giving it. This is a movement that is taking back not only our resources, it's taking back our dignity, it's taking back our land, it's taking back our people, it's taking back about our weak and making them strong, and it's taking back everything that we have lost and giving it back to the people. It's a people's movement, and that is why.
Minister, it's great to see you. This is the minister of an outgoing regime. The Buhari regime will be kicked out of power come 2019. By
your wish or by God's wish?
By the wish of the people of Nigeria.
Who are those people?
The people of Nigeria. Sir, your government has failed us.
Dreaming. You are a daydreamer.
It's not a dream. Nobody even heard about some of you in 2014.
No, because you are inconsequential.
I am consequential because I
not consequential.
You are rubbishing my generation by saying that I'm inconsequential.
You are a daydreamer. If you are not joining us, you are a daydreamer.
The Nigeria of the future is for dreamers like me. Yes. It's going to be for dreamers like me. This is the kind of arrogance, sir. And you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Young people of Nigeria, 75% of them will see your back in 2019. Coming to Abuja is the next leg of our town hall meeting, interaction and engagement with Nigerians. And it wasn't different. We arrived at the airport to warm reception by young people who had waited for me at the airport.
Welcome to Abuja.
The reason is simple. In 2014 and 2015, we thought that he had integrity and the ability to run this country. But what he has done to us is so pathetic that one of his ministers yesterday or 3 days ago confronted me on a radio station and he said 75% of this country, Nigerian youths, are inconsequential. So our arrival in Abuja today is a consequential takeover of the federal capital.
And up from there, we went for another town hall meeting. But we have acres of manifestos that have been given us, promises. You can find them anywhere. We have leaders who lack capacity. We have people with analog thinking. The kind of political consciousness that you are seeing today amongst even young people who usually are complacent, they come from the context in which these stories are written, because they need very solid evidence to show that a story that I've read is actually doing damage to society, either politically, culturally, socially, and in every ramification that you can think about. What about the love that they promised us? What about the care that they promised us? They have disappointed us. You know, this country is broken today, and the people of Nigeria are broke. I do not believe that the people who are proposing restructuring are honest. And that's why that the first restructuring that has to happen in Nigeria is an economic restructuring of the country, where people actually enjoy the resources of their country. After Abuja, I decided that we should go to Kano. And the reason we went to Kano was because everybody said Kano was no-go area. This is the first palace I'm entering since I started campaigning 5 weeks ago. You have shown yourself to be a disruptor. You have disrupted the economic system in this country by putting away people who were thieves in our banking system. I also want to disrupt the political space in Nigeria. I am running to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2019. And I want to start So we left Kano, drove again for several hours to Kaduna, and came to a town hall meeting at Arewa House. The interesting thing is that Kaduna city or state is a very polarized state. You know, people from northern Kaduna and southern Kaduna, Christians and Muslims, and in some cases they actually don't see eye to eye. So, but here it was in this hall, Arewa Hall. The hall was filled to the brim, interestingly, by women. So you had the Christians, the Muslims, and all of these people coming together because of one purpose, to rescue and take Nigeria back from the old divisive politicians that have destroyed the country. When we started this, they said we cannot go to Kano, that you dare not go to Kano because it's President Buhari's home. We came to Kano. We went there today. We went to see the emir. People were hailing us on the street. Please do not look back. Kaduna, it is going to happen. If we join hands together, we will no longer even need to print. Assalamu alaikum.
It's a pleasure.
Well done, sir.
I can understand. So this is this government. Truly, honestly, they're doing their best. But who is, look, your best is not good enough. So give chance to those who can.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. The Sahara Reporters publisher is now running for president.
which platform?
We are still working on a coalition of parties, but we've been going around.
Which coalition of party?
We have a bunch of parties that we're talking to. We want to form a model.
Why worry about a bunch of parties? Why not go to the real party?
Which is the real party?
Of change.
That's
the
PRP?
oldest political party in
PRP?
Nigeria.
Okay, so now we are talking. So we're just coming from Penn Cinema area of Agege. It is the place where you can find people along the rail line. It was coincidental that the only railway system in Nigeria was arriving at the time we got there. And it was like people from around the country. And we met a number of beggars who are from Kano, Jigawa, and I think they said they're also from Adamawa, who told us that if only government could give them just small loans, they would relocate back home. And they kept saying, we want to send our children to school. We want to send our children to school. All right. So you want to send your children to school? It was shocking because the impression you get when they talk about the northern part of the country is that people don't want to go to school. But these people want to send their children to school. They want to have their own life. And contrary to the impression being created that they don't want to go home, they actually want to leave Lagos. If only they can be guaranteed of some small business loan that they can use in setting up businesses that can make their lives better. Of course, it's a very intense place, and I felt like Nigerian leaders, while preparing for office, never even attempt to reach out to these people. They prefer to package and brand rice and some tokens and send to them. They don't even know what their needs are. It will be the first time you see a president that's going to construction sites to check up on construction. Wouldn't you like that? Exactly. Well, that's to me. So for me, this is like a need assessment tour to talk to the people, ordinary people, and ask them, what do you really want? What do you want for yourself in a better Nigeria? And that's what you heard from a beggar, and you heard from another woman who was really emotional.
We want a younger person like you people that have been doing something that is better. You know what young people are need. Look at all these graduates.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them. We're not joking. We need you.
Thank you.
I'm saying with my outside hands, we need you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Thank you.
So shall it be.
Thank you.
It will happen like that.
It will.
You are going great. You are going greater than this.
Thank you.
We need you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
I couldn't say anything. She was very emotional about the future. She wanted a different future, and she didn't think that the existing political structures or the existing policy status in the country can help her. By the way, young lawyers, be prepared for the job of being prosecutors to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because there's going to be a lot of prosecutions to be made over the destruction and the stealing of our national commonwealth. Thank you very much. I'll see you 2019. But before we went to Weri, we had some encounters. We went to eat at a place in front of ShopRite in Lagos, and as we were eating there, a lot of young people who had heard about our campaign and my person would milling around us. They were asking questions about what the plans were for Nigeria in the future under a Sowore presidency, and we're talking.
My life is so frustrating. Yes, I'm living a miserable life.
How did you survive?
The chief security officer came charging at us.
Why would they stop what is doing? So what? No, you can't stop. No, this is a public place. These are Nigerians.
And I said to him, I said, this is a place maintained by public patronage. Why are you so aggressive? Well, it's obvious that he wanted to do what Afrobeat musician Fela Kuti used to call power show. And power show, before he knew it, he had called the DPO of a nearby police precinct, and they sent policemen to arrest us.
Don't listen to me. Because you think that the Nigerian police is the police of yesterday where people can just ask them to do whatever they like. And journalists can't do their job. And then you broke our camera. When we are exercising our right, and you go and bring a police officer who doesn't know the difference between a private space and a public space. There must be proper orientation and education of the police force. No police officer should protect a private interest over a public interest. Never.
My lawyer actually works for my opponent. My lawyer works for Buhari. We're headed back on track on the campaign trail again. It's just a short police issue. It's resolved. There's no reason to be afraid, no reason to fret. Take it back. Take it back. It is my pleasure to be in your midst today in the land of the rising sun. What is lacking is sincerity of purpose. And we are reminding the man in Owerri that there's no vacancy in Aso Rock in 2023 for the people like him. Yes. I will not be the president that is commissioning a model of a second Niger bridge or the picture of a second Niger bridge. I won't even come and commission the bridge. I want it to be completed and you start riding on it. That's the commissioning of it. Take it back. Take it back. We just want our nation back from them. So once again you can say, take it back. Take it back. I want to hear you. Take it back. 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 Take it back. Thank you. Take it back. See. Take it back. Take it back. Thank you. Take it back. See. On that day, we are going to make a generational statement that the young people of this country are tired and no longer accepting of the kind of leadership that has put us down for the last 58 years of Nigeria's existence. The lazy ones are the ones who were voted into office, who could not appoint their ministers for 6 months. Those are the lazy people of Nigeria. The ones that are using Nigeria and the ones that are not lazy must teach the lazy ones a lesson in 2019. Thank you.
Hello, let me just say we have Omoyele Sowore with us in the studio already, publisher Sahara Reporters Online.
Okay, you can verify that I have almost 30 years now of fighting on the side of what is right. So when it was inconvenient to stand on the side of what is right, I did it.
Take it back!
Last thing I did was to go to my hometown, Kiribo, and this one got to be the craziest. I've never seen my hometown lit up like that before.
Ulu Kiribo, tó bá dà ọdún ẹwà àti lẹ́yìn ọdún ẹwà, Kiribo wá dà ọ̀nà dédé ráì họ ọmọ ẹ̀ lórúkọ fọ́ Kiribo rẹ̀ ní Kiribo. Wọ́n bá ti dá aka pẹ̀lú Kiribo.
Everybody we saw, wọn ò béèrè religion wa. Where are you, Muslim or Christian?
Wow.
They didn't ask our ethnicity. So wọ́n break it down fún wọn gbàdá ṣe mọ́ ní. Wọ́n sọ fún yín pé ọmọ yín àmájìrí nìkan náà lè ṣe. Bọ̀dẹ̀ rí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn. Ọmọ Buhari London ló ti ń lọ sí school. Ṣé ọmọ yín náà ò lè lọ sí school ní London ni?